And away we go. Welcome to the Boardcast.
Episode we don't know.
No, I never did know. What are we talking about? I had a very interesting day. How was your day?
My day was just fucking task after task in front of a laptop.
Yeah.
That was my day.
Mine was more customer after customer. Some very, I get asked a lot, like, what do you do all day? Well, I'd challenge anyone to deal with what I dealt with today from start to finish. Like, it was hectic. And just because I'm on my own in the shop due to lack of customers. So if more of you want to come, don't feel like you're annoying me. But yeah, it's weird being in there the whole time and not having breaks. It's strange. Some interesting creatures you deal with.
Thank you for taking the lead.
Well, you're doing all the other shit.
On the customers, yeah. I'm dealing with the online customers.
I can't deal with what you deal with, so I have no choice but to deal with the customers. But my first guy today came in, immediately had a phone call and was apologetic because it's always a bit rude to take a phone call after you've started the conversation with someone about why you're there. And he was dealing with a court case because he'd been being done twice for the same offence. He got caught by a cop for being in an unregistered vehicle, and he also got caught by a camera for being in an unregistered vehicle. The camera fine was first, but the mail took too long to get to him, so he got done for the same offence twice, essentially.
But he didn't go and re-register his car.
He did immediately when the cop caught him, but the camera had got him before the cop.
And he didn't know about the camera until
a few weeks later, and now he's having to pay twice, and it's like $3,500. And he's like, man, how the fuck can they get me twice for the same thing? I was like, dude, I think you'll win. If you go to court, you'll probably win. Anyway, he proceeded to buy a pair of shoes and leave his dirty old shoes in the shop, which I thought was super weird, but people seem to have a slightly...
Like he just walked out and didn't...
Yeah, just left them.
Just left them on the floor.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Zero communication about that, just left them.
Normally people go, do you have a
bin? Is it
bin?
all right if I leave my shoes, man?
Can I throw them in the bin? And you go, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not touching them. But this dude just fucking left them where he tried the other ones on. And I guess, I don't know. The reason I bring that up is the next guy came in and he goes, have you got a pair of these? And he just pointed at his shoe, and I couldn't really see what he was wearing because they're Adidas and they all kind of look the same. And I said, can you tell me which one it is, man? It says on the side. I'm like, and he pulls it off and fucking hands it to me. And I'm like, dude, I'm not touching that. No way. Like, it looked like a dirty grog. Ugh.
There's some skate shoes where you go, I'm not touching that.
But he read it to me. He's like, that's a Buznitz. I'm like, what size? Look inside the tongue. And he told me it's size 10, whatever. And I got him the 10s, and he's like, I'll just try them on. And I'm like, yeah, cool. They're the same shoe, dude. Like, they're going to fit you. You don't really need to try them on. But he fucking left his dirty, stinking skate shoes in the shop too.
Didn't
say anything. He walked to the counter with the box, and I was like, oh, there's nothing in the box. And he went, oh, I'm wearing them. And it didn't dawn on me to think, well, where the fuck are your other shoes? And I just took his money, and I walk up the back, and his shoes are just sitting there too. And I'm like, I'm not fucking touching them. They were gross. So I was like, I went and got a pair of pliers and put them in the bin.
Crazy.
So I got two people just left their dirty old shoes in the shop, one after another. And I was like, this shit would not happen at fucking Foot Locker. There's some sort of different...
I reckon they'd probably have some whack stories too. I think retail in general is just...
full of whack stories.
Yeah, like so crazy what people do in a retail setting, which is so bizarre. Like, you wouldn't do that at a friend's house. You wouldn't do that at, like, I don't know, bizarre stuff happens in retail stores.
It was one of those mornings. Anyway,
we deal with some interesting characters.
Yeah, you deal with some maniacs. And then some old customers came in, Nathan and his son Ozzy, who we've known forever.
Yeah.
I won't say their last name because they might not want to be talked about, but
good guys though.
They've been around forever. Awesome dudes. Nathan refused to get a discount.
Did you offer?
No, but he pointed out immediately. He was like, I need to get rid of this shirt, man. Where's your best full price Borders shirt? And I was like, I'll just grab this one, man. It's sick. Support your local shirt. And he's like, yeah, that's sick. I just want to pay full price for everything. And like made a point of saying that, and then put all the stuff on the counter, and I snuck a magazine in for him anyway.
Oh, good.
I don't think they noticed. But,
good.
It's nice when a customer comes in and he's like, I just want to support the shop, They've always been good to me, so I want to give back. And
that's
without
awesome.
being asked, and
Thank you.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. It was a good chat. Like, Nathan's always interesting to chat to. He just thinks differently, has a different perspective on things. So.
And Ozzy's always been the kindest kid.
And best kid ever. Ozzy's like, he's still growing. He's still figuring out stuff. And, he's been around long enough to start getting it. He's turning into a really cool young man, which is sweet. It's nice to see, like, kids that you've known since you were little kids. Nathan actually reminded me of a story. It didn't remind me because I still don't remember it, but it told me a story of
memory.
Yeah, my memory is not great. But he was saying when Ozzy was like probably 7 or 8, I guess. Yeah, he was a little kid, and they were going through some shit, and Nathan had no money, and Ozzy desperately wanted a new deck, and Nathan said something along the lines to him, mate, I've got $75 until I get paid next or whatever, and the deck's $70, and like, man, what's more important, food or skateboarding? And Ozzy said, well, if I can't skate, what's the point eating? And apparently I said at that point, I must have heard that and gone, oh no. I've gone, mate, just fix me up for the deck later, and gave him the deck. But I don't remember doing it. But obviously, I mean, I've done stuff like that for 28 years. So it was just nice to be reminded that people remember every kind gesture you make is remembered.
That's the thing that, like, I think retail is losing these days, is that community around the shop
100%
too.
100% it's being lost because everyone's fucking online and no one gives a shit, and you don't build those relationships. I haven't built a relationship like that with a kid and a dad for so long.
Do you know what grinds my gears too?
Grinds my gears.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going for it. Well, you could just have brought it to my attention, is all the e-com brands are trying to create a community and trying to do good deeds, and it's a marketing ploy.
It's bullshit. They're not creating community. They're trying to sell to you.
Yeah, there's no connection. Like, it reminded, because I watched an Instagram reel of a company doing, like, they hid free vouchers at a supermarket. This is how disconnected they are with their general customer. Yeah, they hid it in supermarket products that aligns with their customer base. But it still was such a disconnect. And I'm like, and they're like, we just love giving back to the community. And I'm like, you have no idea who that's going to. That's not your community. You're trying to gain a new follower and a new customer.
Absolutely.
And I'm like,
followers.
That's not supporting your community.
No, it's not supporting.
And it grinds my gears. It's like doing what you've done, where you've supported local kids. Like, we've had so many kids that come in and like can't afford decks, and we're like, we'll do you a deal, we'll do you wholesale, or we'll give you an old one for free, or things like that, and actually help.
I did that the other day. I gave one of the kids a second-hand deck for free because his deck was garbage, and I'm like, man, I'm not re-gripping that. Like, I'll find you something better. Yeah. And we have kids come in and they're like counting their dollars to like fix up their skateboard. And I'm like, dude, don't worry. I'll chuck in this for free. I'll chuck in this for free. That's building a community.
Yeah. And being like, I am genuinely doing it on the spot to help you keep skating. Yeah. There was no preconceived idea of helping them. You just help them because it's the right thing to do at the time. Yeah, and they're already a customer. They're already in the shop. I'm not trying to reach more potential buyers. No. I'm just going, hey, you're a part of our community and we're giving back to you. Yeah, and you hope that they then go say to their mate, don't shop at that shop. It's shit. Go see Al or Claire or someone down at Borders. They'll help you out.
That's what you hope for. But it's not your intent when you do it. Like, I don't intend to get him to go out and market for me. It happens through
You're
a
just
natural relationship.
Doing a good deed because on the spot you thought that was the right thing to do.
Yeah. And it's not, that's because, and that's how you've talked about it before. It's why I'm not a particularly good retailer because I do tend to offer a discount when it hasn't been asked for, or I'll do a deal when it hasn't been asked for, because I don't know. I don't know fucking why. It's just my go-to position. It's because I'm not an arsehole. I don't know. I just don't like, I hate being ripped off. So I like to make people feel good. And if I can do that, and if that's the one thing I can do while I'm on this planet, then great. You know, then I'll leave the place a slightly better place. Because, man, like, the one thing that is becoming more and more obvious out there is people do not give a fuck about anyone but themselves. Like,
or even
go for a walk. See how many people say thanks when you get out their way.
My mum brings this up every time she comes to Sydney and we go for a walk, and she goes, no one says good morning. No one says hello. Everyone's so consumed with their own life and their own thing and their own technology.
To be honest, I don't care about that.
No, but just in general, like, she was like, no one says hello anymore.
No, they don't. But
no one says good morning.
If I step out of your fucking way, if I go out of my way to make your life that little bit easier, whether it's in the traffic or walking or fucking in a shop or in a queue or whatever, just go, thanks.
Yeah.
I don't even care if you don't say it. Just acknowledge my existence. Do not... Yeah, I'm not going to. I won't, because
don't worry, it grinds. Like, there's a road, like, there's a street that's a big steep hill in between my house and work, and I have to drive it, obviously, every single day. And it's only skinny enough for one, because there's always cars parked down either side, and one car can only go up or down. So every time cars have got to pull off to the side to go up or down it. And, like, the amount of times, like, I pull to the side and that person just, like, drives straight and ignores you.
Yeah, it's like, just fucking raise a hand.
Yeah.
You lazy piece of shit.
It happened fucking this morning, and I was driving my parents' car, and it's fucking huge. And I'm like, okay, I'm in the bigger car here. I don't have the ability to get off in tight spaces, but I did, and I pulled to the side, and this little lady in a fucking tiny car drove up and didn't even acknowledge anything and just drove straight past. And I'm like, bitch.
I don't get it.
Sorry, that's rude, and it's probably overreacting.
No,
but
it's not. It's like, fucking hell, everyone. A little bit of common decency goes a long way.
Just a little wave. Just a little thanks. You don't even have to take your hand off the steering wheel. Just a little 2 fingers.
You doing that will make the other person feel good. You'll feel good. There's no downside to it.
No.
So instead of being a...
You wanted to say it. But I don't think we can anymore because of YouTube.
No, we're not known enough. We can still say the C word. But anyway, I won't. Instead of being an asshole and upsetting someone else, how about just try and be nice? There's a time for being an asshole, and it's when someone's been an asshole to you and you're standing up for yourself. The time to be an asshole is not to be an unprovoked asshole. That's stupid. Be a nice person in general. Just fucking get out of the way for someone, or say thanks when someone gets out of the way for you. Just do the right fucking thing. Anyway,
put your hand up when you've merged.
Just society in general. If this is the way we're tracking, it's going to split in two. There's going to be good guys and arseholes. I know which side I want to be on. I want to hang out with the good guys. I don't want to be in the society where everyone's an arsehole. You know, if you're all too caught up in your own bullshit, I get it. Cost of living sucks right now. Petrol's expensive. Every fucking thing you buy has a surcharge on it. I get it. I get that things suck. But you know what? Fight back. Use cash. Avoid the surcharge. Fucking make your life better, not worse. Anyway, this has turned into a straight up rant. Customer number 4 today.
Yeah.
This is not. I mean, I'm only talking about the memorable ones. There was plenty in between. I've got one where I embarrassed myself too. I'll tell you that one. That happened this Salvo.
Really?
Yeah. Customer number 4 was a dude whose house burnt down. Lovely bloke. Lost all his skateboards. Is looking to replace like old school boards, which is going to be hard because they don't reissue
certain colours.
Certain things. But
yeah.
Anyway, I was trying to help him out, and I reckon within, I don't know, just by me communicating and being friendly, by the time he left, which was 20 minutes later, I'd fucking, which is weird again, like it's only going to happen in a shop where you've got a community. He's showing me photos of his kids and fucking his new house and like talking about his family and all this stuff. And that just does not happen in a normal retail setting.
No.
It happens at a Borders where there's a community and people want to be a part of something. And he was a lovely bloke, and I'll try and get these boards for him. I doubt I'll be able to get many of them, but I'll get a few for sure. But just another thing where they're opening their phone and they're hanging around for 20 minutes showing you photos. And I'm like, fuck, I got work to do, but I'll stay, I'll watch, you know. Like, you can't just walk away and be a dick. So I just stay and hang out and listen to the story and I know his whole fucking life story.
Some people are like that. Some people overshare information though. And it's a harmless thing, but you're not.
I'm not.
You're a very closed book.
I'm a closed book even on this. Like, there's nothing, I don't talk about my personal life.
Yeah, no.
Much.
I remember like last episode when I asked you about Freddie and you were just like, yep.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
That was the end. I was like, okay.
I don't want to talk about stuff like that. Like, there's some things I just want to keep private, you know?
Yeah.
I don't need to. People know enough about me anyway. So I'm not going to talk about my family,
but like your
sentence,
your response was like one worded. It wasn't.
Yeah,
it wasn't like, oh yeah, like you didn't even give any.
No, I'm not.
Like
I'm not getting in.
You didn't say like even. Oh, he was 3 years old. Like you didn't even say
ask
that.
Me off the camera, and I'll talk to you about shit like that, but not on it.
Yeah.
There's public and unpublic, you know. But anyway, each to their own. Customer number 5 that I remember.
Is this the embarrassing one?
Yeah.
Okay.
She bought a helmet and there was 3 blues. And I'm like, I wonder which blue it is. I have no fucking idea which blue it is. I'll go try and figure it out and then I'll bring you small. Like, she picked a blue and she pointed at it and then I'm like, oh, how am I going to fucking work out which box it's in? Oh, because it's like cyan,
ocean.
Like, there's so many blues. And I go out the back and there's one of the colours was LA gloss blue. And I've gone back out and I've no fucking idea why it's called LA gloss blue, but it's called LA gloss blue. And she went, did you just say LA gloss blue? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, look at your hat. And I'm like, oh fuck, it's identical. It's that blue. And it was LA gloss blue. Yeah, apparently. So I'm like, this loser. I have no idea why it's called LA gloss blue. And she's just looking at me, shaking her head, going, is he taking the piss? And I wasn't. I didn't even know what fucking hat I was wearing.
You just picked it because it like the colour. So did she.
It was super fucking weird. But the hat I had on my head was identical to the colour of the helmet.
There you go.
And it's got LA written on it. For those of you listening on Spotify, it's fucking got LA written on it. Anyway, hey, big news. We're on Apple. Yeah,
I finally fixed the link and got approval from Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, thanks, Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
He's dead, isn't he?
And we're now on Apple Podcasts. So if you don't listen on Spotify and you prefer Apple Podcasts, you can go there.
How do they find us? Fuck, that sounded like an ad. How do they find us, Claire?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you, Al.
I have no fucking idea. It was a legitimate question.
You just search the Boardcast.
But isn't there a bunch of broadcasts?
No, our photo will come up. And we're actually the only one
What if they don't know what we look like?
It's black and white and it's 2 people's faces.
So you don't search Borders Skates, no, you search the Boardcast.
The Boardcast Podcast.
The Boardcast Podcast.
Yes. And
subscribe.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
Hit the plus button, just the follow button.
Yeah, same on Spotify and YouTube. We need more subscribers.
Yeah, we know you guys are listening to it.
There's hundreds of you listening, thousands, and some of them get 1,000 views. Just hit subscribe.
Yep.
It's not hard. It doesn't cost anything. It's free. How can we incentivize people to hit subscribe?
What I know on YouTube, I can see the people's names. I don't know about Spotify and things, but we could do a deal or some like, I don't know, Way to give back to our fucking community.
Yeah, our actual community, though. But you have to subscribe first, and then maybe we'll come up with a way to send them a T-shirt or a fucking hat or something. It'd be cool to do something. Boardcast tote bags. That'd be sick.
What, with our fucking heads on it?
No, I'm not putting my head on anything.
I was like, please,
That's
no.
bad enough that my head's on. No, I'm not talking about, no, but have we got a logo?
It's essentially the Borders logo
with ERS turned into
cast.
CAST.
Yeah. So very original.
We've got a song.
Cool. What are we going to do with that?
Nothing. It's pretty cool though. We've got a song. Like we actually have a song.
Yeah.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Apple. So we're on Apple now.
Yes, we're on every platform now.
Okay. Well, then you've got no excuse. So listen to us because we've got stuff to say.
What have we got to say, Al?
I think we should have a small discussion about. There's so many things I don't want to touch on, but I kind of do.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We spoke about this briefly today, about how much information we're actually going to give away.
About what?
Japan.
Oh, Japan. We're talking Japan already. Yeah, I guess it's getting towards November, right? And everyone's starting to plan their trips.
Yeah.
I don't want to give people our itinerary.
We don't have one.
No, we don't have one. That's a good point.
And you wouldn't know it anyway. I do all the booking.
I have 2 weeks of itinerary, and I'm hearing the place all the time.
What date are you flying out, Al?
January, maybe February. I don't know.
You don't know the date you're flying out?
Late Jan.
Do you know what date your wife and kids fly home?
No.
Do you know what date I arrive?
No, the same day they fly out.
No.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
So
where the fuck am I going to sleep at the airport?
And then do you know what date you fly home?
No. No, I don't. But I'm sure before I leave, I'll know. I'll have to know what day I fly out. I don't know.
So for
late
those
January.
of you who are new
January?
to this or to new to our business relationship
and general
friendship and relationship, I have booked all of ours travel.
That's stupid because I used to go to Japan before I knew you. I don't know how I did it. It wasn't as digital back then.
What on earth do you mean by that?
Well, we weren't.
How did you book flights to Japan?
The travel agent.
You walked into a travel agent and you
said... I presume so.
Actually, that sounds about right because I remember when I got
There was no such thing as online booking.
When you we're going to go to Vanuatu or something, you were like, this is too hectic. I can't deal with this. I went to a travel agent. And you went to a travel agent.
That was only like 6 years ago.
You couldn't deal with it.
No, it was too much to book it online. So yeah, travel, I presume up until 2000, whenever you first went, 2012 or whatever, 14. I don't know when you first went.
You would have gone to a travel agent.
Yeah. Or someone else fucking dealt with it and I just passenger princessed my way through those trips. I knew I would always go, hey, look, I know this region really well. Book trip there, just tack me on and I'll show you everything when we go.
Once you're on the ground, you're good.
Sweet. Yeah.
Put you in a car on the ground.
I'm good, man. I've driven the whole country. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, but when the whole country's covered in snow, it's a different story.
Yeah, I can't fucking tell which way is right or left.
Huckabee, you're good though.
Yeah, very good in Huckabee because I fucking basically live there. But I don't. Yeah, I mean, you get lost in snow. Everything's white. It all looks the same. So I even drove past our own driveway in Huckabee a few times on that Kitasumi drive. Just tried, like, fuck, how did I miss the fucking turn off? Yeah, there's been many times where I've missed turn offs and whatever. Anyway, I'm not great, but yeah, the Japan trip. Like, first, let's talk about SLS.
Okay.
Because that just happened.
Yeah. The
hype in Sydney was interesting for SLS, I thought. It had very little effect on retail. I don't think it made much difference at all, but there's definitely it was definitely an interesting event. You know, the only reason I wanted to talk about it is because Chloe Cavell won again. And I thought it was super interesting because I watched it while I was working because it was on ESPN or something. It was being streamed on...
over the weekend. It was being
streamed, but it was also on ESPN on Fox. But
yeah.
I thought it was really interesting watching Chloe perform the way she did outside of that Olympic pressure.
Mm.
Yeah, like she won it, and she won it pretty easy, to be honest. And just like, all I could think the whole event was, what happened at the Olympics? Like, why did it go so pear-shaped for her over there? It's hard to wrap your head around that Chloe Cavell compared to the one I saw on Saturday and Sunday. Like
Different level of pressure?
It's got to be, right?
Like, look at the crowd size.
Well, there was a few people on Sunday. Like, the place was pretty full on Sunday. Looked half empty on Saturday. I tell you what was surprising, probably the demographic. I mean, it's not surprising to us. There was mostly young kids. There was a lot of young kids there. But yeah, it's that pressure thing, right? That whole I'm only 14 years old or whatever, like young people and pressure.
Yeah, but do you reckon it could also be the environment too? Like,
feels really comfortable, SLS.
Yeah, and also you'd be going back to like your house or your hotel room or whatever, whereas like in the Olympics, you're going back to an Olympic village with all other athletes and I
think it'd be like heavy security checks constantly. It'd just feel weird.
But also like they say that stress is contagious and like energy is contagious. Like if you walk into a room, you can tell if there's like, you can cut the tension with a knife or things like that. Sure. So if you're going back to a whole village where you've got hundreds of people all stressed out and emotional levels high, stress levels high, you're walking into that and you're like, how can I decompress?
Yeah, maybe.
It
was super interesting. I thought, once again, like you get that vibe of a tech deck event because it's fucking clever marketing, hey? Tech deck sponsor the thing. And you're watching it going, fuck, this looks like tech decks. The courses are so perfect and the coloring's all very tech decky and it's super, super clever marketing. But at the same time, it should be rethought, I feel. Like it's not the right mix, but I mean, it's wherever the money's coming from, I guess.
Where is the money coming from?
Fucking Tech Deck, by the looks of it. There was a mountain of money from Tech Deck in that thing.
Yeah.
It's still Nike, though, right? SLS is still Nike, which, I mean, it didn't scream Nike this weekend. It screamed Tech Deck to me.
Yeah.
I just kept seeing Tech Deck logos all the time. But maybe that was just because they were, I don't know, maybe the way marketing works with me. But super interesting. And I'm certain, and I'm going to say it out loud, there's something happening with something. That sounded so bogan. There's something.
Super intelligent statement.
There's something happening with skateboarding right now.
There's something happening with something.
We're seeing more hardware going out the door than we have in recent times.
Yeah,
in the last 18 months, I think we're seeing more decks going out the door than I've seen in a long time. It's healthy. Something's happening. For sure, something is going on. It feels like it's bubbling to the surface. We might have a good summer and skateboard Christmas, I think.
What's the weather meant to be like this? Hot. Dry?
Hot. It's like they're saying it's going to be one of the hottest summers in history, which is hardly surprising. We've talked about how the snow is disappearing. So.
Yeah, but is it...
I don't know if it's dry and hot or wet and hot, but it's hot.
Yeah, okay.
I keep talking about, I've heard
Is it going to be really bad fires again?
Depends if you light any. Are you right? Am I keeping you up?
Yeah, you are.
Fucking hell, mate.
Sorry.
It's 5:30 in the arvo.
Yeah.
You're having a snore.
Oh, yawn.
Sorry. Yeah. I'm not sure.
You said that this Japan season's looking dry.
I put that on our Instagram dry.
Didn't you say dry?
No. I didn't say dry. I put it on our Instagram, the shop Instagram the other day. The long range forecast for Japan, West Coast, is above average snowfall by as much as 60%.
Really?
That's what they're saying. Like up to 60% more than the average snowfall. That would be fucking insane if it gets to that high. Saying the same for parts of Europe as well. There's like crazy snowfall predictions for Northern Hemi.
Crazy.
Don't know if it's everywhere. Probably North America will probably miss. Somewhere will miss out. If it's snowing everywhere else, somewhere always misses out. But yeah, I mean, if the West Coast, I mean, I don't know, those of you who don't know Japan, basically from Tokyo, if you go west, the western side of Japan is where most of the better mountains are.
Which is Hakuba and all that
region.
region?
If you kind of track towards Nagano, which is on the west coast, and then just continue to go all the way up the west coast of both islands, that's where the main mountains are. So you kind of stick
more
to the...
coastal?
Yeah.
Than inland?
Well, some of it's an hour or two inland.
Yeah, it's not very fat.
It's not a wide island.
No.
You could probably drive across Japan pretty quickly. It's the length that's gnarly. If you look at Japan on a map, the left-hand side is where most of the snow is. So, yeah, fingers crossed, man. That's where I'm going to be. So, on the left-hand side.
What dates?
Late Jan, early Feb, don't know, somewhere around then I'm flying out. So yeah, I don't know. Do you want to disclose where we're going? I don't know. Like I'd rather not say exactly where I'm going on the Hokkaido. I'm going to Hokkaido for 2 weeks with my family. Still haven't worked out how I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
I can't pay any bills at the moment, so fuck knows how we're paying for Japan. But yeah, anyway, Japan. So I'm doing 2 weeks with my kids because I promised them a trip during the pandemic and that all went pear-shaped. So I'm going to a place that wasn't well known even 2 years ago and is kind of, a guy today said he was going there. He was coming to buy mitts for his kid. And he said, my brother-in-law's told me about this little place. It's near the ocean. And I'm like, oh yeah, what's it called? And he said it. And I'm like, fuck, are you fucking shitting me?
Cat's out of the bag.
And I said, have you ever been to Japan before? And he goes, no. I'm like, that is not the place, but okay. You're not going to get what I get from that place because if you've never been to Japan, it's going to be hard for you there.
Are they renting a car?
Apparently his brother-in-law knows all about it.
Okay.
So I hope so. I hope they know what they're doing. But
yeah. Rowie and the girls haven't been to the North Island.
They've never been to Hokkaido. No.
That's cool.
So that'll be fun for them. But I mean, at the end of the day, we're flying in, we get in the car and we drive to the place where we're staying.
Yeah, but the North Island's so small. Like, it doesn't take that long to drive.
No, we could head up north a bit and show them like some of those big dams and wilderness.
You can get an almond latte in Niseko.
Oh, fuck that. I'm not going near Niseko. There's no way I would go there. Sorry, everyone who goes to Niseko. I love that you all go there, actually.
Yeah, Niseko's great. Keep going.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Go
Best kebab shop in all of Japan.
It's the only kebab shop. It's really good. Like, Niseko's a great place to go if you've never been to Japan.
Yeah.
I just don't want to do that. So yeah, a couple of weeks with the kids and Rowie, and we'll see whether they enjoy that. We're going to do a bit of Tokyo first.
Well, a tip that we can say is that there is certain ways to book a car in advance.
I don't know about this, so this is all you.
Okay. We've always done it through Toyota, and we'd always done it through the place in Nagano and gotten out to Nagano, hired a car with snow tires and driven out, and their booking system opens up like maybe a month and a half to 2 months prior.
Yeah.
That's the extent of it. But I've just discovered that Nissan do it 3 months out. So exactly date to date, 3 months prior, you can book a car with Nissan. I've also discovered over the time of doing all of these bookings and these trips, have to book a car prior to going.
Yeah.
Otherwise you end up paying.
Yeah. You can be spontaneous, but it's a bad idea with cars.
You end up paying for sure.
Yeah. Fuck, we paid last time.
And you also don't get a lot of option for cars if you're arriving and doing it on the spot.
No, we had a 10-seater for two of us.
Yeah, it's crazy, and paid exorbitant money.
It's like $2,500 or something for 2 weeks.
So 100%, if you are going to book a car for Japan, book it in advance and book early because they do book out. Like, I jumped on to book our car at the 3-month mark and there was cars not available. So I think they just use cars for general use in Japan.
A lot of Japanese don't own cars.
They all live in cities and the public transport's amazing.
You wouldn't have a car. It'd be stupid to have a car.
Yeah. And I remember going, when we first discovered this, because we rocked up at the Toyota rent-a-car, and there was just like heaps of guys in business suits, and we were like, right, okay.
They're all using cars to
just get around.
Yeah, so they'll bullet train to a big city, jump in a rental car. While they're there, they use the rental car, then they jump back in the bullet train and go home and don't need a car at home because they're on a train line or whatever. Yeah.
The whole time, yeah.
It's a completely different society. You've got to fit in with them. You've got to figure out a way to get a car that suits what your needs are too. Like, don't get a car that's too small because you're not going to fit all your shit in it. Yep. And they genuinely have cars over there that are 650cc, which for those of you that know about cars is a fucking small motorbike engine, and they're not very powerful.
There was one trip. It was that trip, I think, that we did. We were over there for a month, was it? Yeah, and
we've done a few of those.
The first 2 weeks, we'd got to Nagano, and I had booked us a car. This was back in the early.
What was that thing called?
It was a Roomie.
Roomie.
Yeah.
Toyota Roomie. Fuck,
and we get there, and Al is like, "What the fuck have you booked, Claire?" And I'm like, "What? It's square. We can fit everything in the back," which we could.
Yeah, you could.
Everything fitted in the back, and it was just. The whole time when Al's driving, he kept going, whoa, fuck.
The tyres were maybe, fuck, I don't know, like a cruiser skateboard width.
They were winter tyres.
Yeah, but they were narrow. It was like driving ice skates.
The car wasn't a 4-wheel drive. And
it was a fucking death trap.
And what size engine did it have?
650cc, man.
Size of a motorbike?
Yeah. Yeah, like a...
No, I think it was less.
Size of a Harley Davidson
250cc.
No. You can't have a car.
Okay, well, I don't know cars or motorbikes.
It was like 650cc. It was tiny, had no power, and it still tried to slide off the road every time it snowed. It was so dangerous, that car.
So definitely book something that is 4-wheel drive. The winter tyre situation, if you're booking in the North Island...
it'll automatically
have it. If you're booking in Nagano, it will automatically have it. If you are booking in any other city like Osaka or Tokyo, if you're flying out and getting a car in Tokyo, you have to request and pay extra for winter tires. But
don't forget.
Yeah, do not forget.
Because it'll kill you. You will die. Andrew, remember signwriter Andrew was telling me that he went to a resort and I think he said he was in a front-wheel drive car and the road was so bad and he reversed it up the hill so that the power was coming from the front and he was driving up the hill backwards because it's the only way he'd get in. I don't know if it was him or someone else did that, but yeah, that was a fucking funny story. That's pretty cool. But you've got to get your car right. Have enough space for your shit to be comfortable, especially if you're doing what we're doing in the second part of our trip.
Yeah, in the 2 weeks.
Second part of my trip, sorry. First part of your trip.
Yeah, if you're doing a trip style where you're not staying in one place and you're pretty much going to be living out of the car, essentially, where you're driving, staying in a spot for 1 or 2 nights, then packing up, leaving, you want to have a big enough car that you can literally chuck all of your board and bags and luggage in the back and not have to have it perfectly neatly stacked every time. So it's much easier just to...
Not
ride
have to
and go.
Tetris the thing every time you get in it.
Yeah, it just means that we can have our luggage to the side and then throw our boards down and we can ride that day and drive off.
And you sometimes change boards, so it's good to have access to your boards. And you don't have to worry too much about them getting stolen or anything. That's not a big deal over there. You can kind of leave your boards in the car and nothing gets nicked. But you want the car big enough that you're not fucking on top of each other in the front seat too. Because you're literally living in the thing. Like, you need some cup holders. We made that mistake once where the fucking car had no cup holders. Like, there's silly little things that you just got to be conscious of when you're renting a car over there. That's a great...
You remember the roomie only had 3 doors, so it didn't have a side door on your side, and every time you get out and you go to the back, to the passenger side, the passenger seat to get into the back of the car, you'd be like, fuck!
I hated that car so much. I was doing on my Instagram, I was doing stories about how much I hated that car. I fucking hated that car. Remember how only half of it had electric stuff?
Yeah.
So one side would have electric windows or doors and the other side wouldn't. It's like, what the fuck? Why would you build a car like this just to be a dick?
Funny.
It was so bad, that car. And then we got the super cool car.
Yeah, that was when we didn't book ahead and we flew to the North Island.
I thought we were fucked, actually. We got the last car.
Yeah, the last car. We landed and we went to every single rental place at the airport, and they were all like, nope, no cars, nope, no cars, nope, no cars. We went through, there was 8 of them, and we went to the last one, and they were like, yeah, we've got one. And it was like
mom and pop's car rental or some shit. It was some weird company.
And then they drive you out past,
and there's fucking thousands of cars.
So many cars. And you're like, there is literally 4,000 cars in this parking lot. I would
say that's not even an exaggeration.
4,000 cars. Yeah, you just drive through.
And hundreds of the things.
And you're like, how is there no cars?
I don't get it. It's nuts. There was something going on there.
No.
Unless they just have them ready for the next wave of people coming through on planes.
Or unless they don't have winter cars and they have summer winter cars.
Fucking no, man. But
anyway, it was bizarre.
That shook me to tears, but we ended up with a sick car. It was a Mitsubishi.
Was so big.
Yeah, big fucking 4-wheel drive van, which we didn't need, but it was sick. It was so nice. We're cruising up the mountains, big engine. Yeah. It was heaps of power. We
went from one extreme to the other, and I was like, this is the car we needed all along, Claire.
Yeah. I wouldn't care. Like, I'll pay extra to have a car that I don't feel like I'm going to die in.
Especially because the conditions are so unpredictable over there.
They get super variable conditions, so it gets scary at times. Like, I'm a confident driver, and I got nervous in that little thing.
Which is why I'm tossing up in my second half of the trip on whether to rent a car or not with Neil and my brother.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get back to the trip.
Yeah. So that's tip number one.
Get a car.
We're not sure what we're going to do exactly on our trip yet, and we're not sure
how much we're going to tell you guys about. No, we should I don't know. Like, we're going to make it hard for ourselves, right? We're not going to go to easy places to get to.
No, like we said, it's not like we're pin dropping and going, cool, we're staying here.
No, so we've got no itinerary. I drop my wife and kids off at the airport.
You pick me up.
Pick Claire up. When you say pick you up, I won't have a fucking vehicle, so I'll just
we've already booked one.
Oh, but I won't have it yet.
It's from the airport.
Oh.
So you can see how much Al's planned the trip.
Okay, so I'll meet Claire and then we'll go get the car.
Yep.
By the sounds of it.
Yep.
Does that sound right?
Yep. And then we've got a travel day to wherever we are. And then we've got 2 weeks, 16 days, 17 days or something like that.
We're going to head up the west coast of Honshu.
Yeah, I guess so.
Which means avoiding Nagano.
Well, yeah.
Like, we'll head up through the middle of
We've had a few.
And then take a left, I guess.
Sorry, we keep talking over each other. You go.
That's what you do.
Actually, you do it.
Watch it back. See who does it the most.
You do it to me.
You just did it to me then.
So much. I know, and I called myself out on it. I've been going back through all the videos, and every time I go to talk, you cut in and just say my sentence.
Leave a comment in the comments about who talks over who the most.
I was literally about to talk over you then.
See, you fucking had to hold yourself back. I'm consciously trying not to talk over you.
Because my brain goes,
you
just
did it
finish
again.
this sentence and I can say it faster.
Fucking ADD. Hosting a podcast with someone who's ADD is hard.
Hey, undiagnosed. So you don't know.
Motherfucker. It's pretty obvious for all of you listening. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to head up the west coast, right? And probably head up as far up on Honshu as we can. Unless there's some crazy weather shift where all the snow's happening in Hokkaido, and then we've got a problem. Because we're stuck with the car on Honshu, and I don't want to get on that ferry.
We'll figure something out.
Strap it to the back of a bullet train and take it over.
We can. We'll weather watch the week beforehand, and if we're really freaking out, I'll just contact Nissan and switch our car rental to the North Island.
We don't have to weather watch. I'll be there.
Oh yeah, true.
I'll know where the snow is.
Just keep your car and I'll come meet you.
I won't be able to. That's not how cars work up there. You know that.
I know that. I know.
You can't just keep the car.
I know.
Anyway, we'll work it out. But hopefully we can kind of document that second part of the trip.
I'm keen to explore. I've been given a few tips on mountains, like up and down on the South Island. So I'm keen to explore. I'm
keen to explore as well, as long as there's snow where we're exploring. I don't really care. I don't want to explore hardpack. It's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter.
And you can't explore a mountain well when there's not enough snow to go exploring. You know what I mean? Okay, let me explain that better.
You want to have another crack at that?
Yeah. You know when it hasn't snowed in a while and then in the trees it gets sticky and you can't ride?
Can't go in there. Yeah. That's better.
That's better.
You can't go in the trees unless there's snow in a lot of places.
Yes.
Yeah. Hang on a second. That sounded insane how you said it the first time, by the way. This is very small. Anyway, so yeah, that'll be interesting. I guess we'll document that, and then you come back, I come back, I go home.
And then my brother and Neil fly over and we meet all in Tokyo. You fly home. And then the three of us are going to Hakuba just because they've both got season passes. So that's just let's bucket list tick that. Done.
For them.
Yeah, out of the way, done. Get it off the list.
It's crazy that you're going there just for $250.
Well, they've both never been to Japan before.
Neither of them are great riders.
Well, I don't know what level Lewis is. I know what Neil is.
Fucking dangerously bad. Yeah.
So it'll be good for them to find their feet and learn. And I've just done 2-3 weeks with you, so...
You won't be stinging to ride hard, but you'll still want to. You're still going to have a hard time.
If it's deep days, I'm going to be like.
Yeah, you got to be careful though, man.
I'll do on the edges. I'll bring Lewis in. He'll be.
If you go to Hakuba, you could go to Iwataki.
Yeah, there's so many places where I know.
You really know the snow.
Yeah.
Like, you really know where you can get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Lewis any good? Is your brother any good?
He's been riding for a while now. And he's been going every year in Australia, but he's never ridden overseas. He's never ridden powder.
So the answer is no, because it takes a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that trip. Is Julius coming?
Oh, that's undecided yet. I hope so, because he's a good rider.
The thing.
Yeah, he's a good rider.
Could just leave Lewis and Neil and.
Well, I think Lewis is pretty decent now.
Yeah. Well, Neil isn't.
No.
Neil's lucky not to make it. You should make sure your fucking insurance is sweet. Travel insurance and stuff.
It's with Amex.
Yeah, you might want to check up on that because your medical would be covered by that. Not sure Neil's would be.
He's the primary account holder.
Okay, well then his medical will be covered. Not sure yours will be.
But I'm on the account.
You should check. I have to check.
I have. It's immediate family.
It's not an expensive place. You're not immediate family.
Sorry, I am. Yes, my
You're
travel.
De facto.
Yeah, my travel insurance is covered. Yes.
Oh, it's not expensive to get fixed up in Japan anyway, but still can cost.
Yeah.
I've broken a few ribs there. I know it's not super cheap. So hopefully I don't do any of that shit.
Hopefully there are no injuries.
Well, yeah,
Knowing
I've got to stay.
Record, it's not great.
No, I've got to stay in one piece for the 2 weeks before you get there. And then you've got to try and be up to speed pretty quick, which will be interesting after an ACL.
Yeah.
You should be all right, though.
I've got 3 months, and my plan is to get fucking strong.
Yeah. Well, then day 1 and 2, we can just cruise. We'll just go find something easy to ride.
I'll need a day to get my legs because I won't have been on a snowboard for 2 years or something.
Maybe we could go check out some of those interesting little mountains below Hakuba that people keep talking about. I just don't want to end up in Hakuba or Miyoko.
I'm doing Hakuba and Miyoko
separately
with Neil. So
Miyoko's your second part of the trip. You're staying at Miyoko Forest.
Yes, going back to Miyoko Forest Lodge.
I'm kind of envious of that.
Oh, I know, it's so good.
just that area too. I like Miyoko.
Yeah, I want to explore the mountains more too. So I'm actually really stoked.
We were there for 2 days.
3 days, maybe?
Days?
I think, yeah. So I kind of...
Sugi, we rode Lottie, Sugi.
And Ari.
Lottie is Ari, but okay.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Lottie, Ari, and Sugi.
I wasn't actually listening to what you were saying.
I wonder how you talk over me all the time because you're not even listening. Go on.
Anyway, I'm really excited to go back to Miyoko and explore the mountains there.
Yeah.
And get like a deeper understanding of that area.
Cool.
And I've been talking to the guys at Miyoko Forest Lodge, and they have kindly given us a discount code for all you guys listening. If you are heading to Japan and to Miyoko area, the code is Borders10. You can either email them and they'll apply the discount, or if you're just checking out on their website, you can put it in their code.
Discount codes.
And they'll get it. But
if you mention... That's a lot of money, 10% off your accommodation. Significant.
Yeah. And if you're, email them, and if you say Borders or whatever, they'll apply the discount there. Amazing.
Beautiful lodge, really cool people, Australian.
She's a chef prior to this.
Yeah, I think so.
And the food she cooks is amazing. They host dinners that you can stay for.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last
time. Anyway.
He has a really deep knowledge of the area too, and can show you places, and you can talk to him about where to go and when to. He gave us one tip. We weren't there long, so we didn't have time to really kind of deep dive it, but he gave us one tip on that day at Lottie when it had snowed overnight. It had like a 1/2 meter of snow, so I don't know, usual Japan amount where it was up to your waist. And he gave us one tip, and it was a simple tip of like, get off the gondola at mid-station, track left, and then drop in from there. And no one will be doing that because they all go to the top and they all go right. So you'll get freshies all fucking morning while they're all smashing up the top, and then they don't come down there until after lunch. And you'll have already had 5 hours of freshies. And we got 5 hours of freshies. It was crazy. So yeah, we were able to kind of ride, just keep going further and further left and drop into slightly different areas. And it worked. Like, just tips like that when you're in an area can change your experience. It can totally change what you get out of your trip. So staying with people like Miyoko Forest and having that local knowledge and English, they're not Japanese, so you're not battling the language barrier, which is not too bad these days, but it's still there.
And the accommodation's beautiful too.
Super cool.
And it's got a little onsen bath too as well in the hotel, which you don't use. I used every day. It was amazing.
Did not even know that.
It's beautiful.
Don't know what's wrong with showers, but anyway. I just fucking drowned the mic. No, I got water all over me, but missed the mic. This fucking thing's hard to drink out of under pressure. Anyway, carry on. Miyoko, Borders 10 is the code.
Borders 10.
My sister booked.
Awesome.
She's staying there. Don't know when.
Sick.
Late Jan, I think.
Awesome. But yeah, I also did check when we were setting up this code. They have had quite a few bookings already, but they still have availability from, I think, a little bit in Jan, and Feb and March. They've still got tons of availability. So
Feb's the time to go. If you can book your trip in Feb, you miss the school holiday. Obviously, if you've got school kids, January is the time to go. But February is no school kids, less people up on the mountains, bit more adulty, less kids floating around, so not as many problems. And
depends on when you can time it. But
do your best to go in Feb. If my best tip for Japan is late Jan, early Feb, you are not missing out on snow. You're getting snow. That period, like if you missed out, you're the unluckiest person alive. It just generally snows through that period. Australia Day into February is pretty consistent.
You're going at prime time.
You got base, and then anything they have on top of it is just a bonus. So.
Just so you know, you're going the 29th.
Of January?
Yes.
Oh, well, there you go. I'm going perfect time. That's good. That worked out well. I hope it snows. I'll be a dick if I get there and it's not snowing. Anyway, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a good trip.
Yeah. And also, if you are going to Japan, the best thing to do, if you can, is have a little bit of time up your sleeve. Because if you're going there to ride and you're going, okay, I'm going to the mountain for these 5 days, you may get 1 or 2. Like, it's not guaranteed every single day. It's still weather. So,
yeah, like, book a trip, man. Don't fly all the way to Japan and do 5 days on the snow. That's crazy.
Well, some people do
10.
because they go, oh, I've never seen the country, so I want to go to Tokyo and
go
Osaka.
for fucking longer.
Yeah.
Do you want? Here's another Japan tip.
Do 2 trips.
This is going to be controversial. Yeah. Don't go sightseeing in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
It's dead. The country, what did Rowie call it? My wife calls it
death.
Death.
Just
Nothing but death.
Everywhere.
Right. The country is incredibly seasonal. It dies in winter. All the trees die. Everything's grey or white. Everything looks kind of dirty, and I'd never really quite understood why it looked all so dirty. And then I went in fucking autumn and spring a few times, and you're like, oh, okay, this country's a jungle. Now I get it. It's a jungle that dies in winter because it gets so cold, but it's so humid and hot in summer and spring that it just goes green. The whole country goes green. There's shit on the roads. There's trees growing on the middle of the road. There's ivy and vines everywhere, and that's why it looks dirty, because it's all the dead fucking roots of all those trees in winter.
It's actually crazy how much of a jungle it is.
It's a jungle.
Like, I didn't realize until we went in summer, and I was like, holy moly. It's like, just like thick jungle. The moment you leave the city borderline, it just turns jungle.
Yep. Japan's like got that yin yang thing where it's like full on city with basically no greenery at all, or full on jungle. And there's no real in between. You drive an hour through the jungle and you get to another massive metropolis, like a massive city, and then
it's
jungle
crazy.
again.
You're in a city and there's like mountain regions on the outside, and then you drive out of the city and it's like all of their cities are like in the valleys in between all the mountains. And then you drive to the outside of the city and it just like you immediately hit like jungle and wilderness.
Yeah. But if you're going to go to Japan for sightseeing, like to go visit temples and I don't know, whatever the fuck you do when you sightsee.
How about the temple in Nagano? The one we had to hike up to in the winter?
Fuck that. That was the one that you tried to steal shit from.
I didn't try to steal shit from, thank you.
The one that you tried to break into so that you could have a look.
The window was
I've
open.
got video footage. The
window was open. It was unlocked, and I just
whatever.
Peeped in.
Where was that? That was in the ancient forest.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that's called, but
it's pretty cool.
You know, the best thing about that day was those soba noodles. That's a soba noodle region, and we went to this temple. I don't know why we did that. I think I need to hire a car.
I can't not do this and not hire a car.
Depends how many days you got.
I'm there for like 2 weeks with Neil and Lewis.
Man, it blows my mind that you think
that we can do this
good without a car.
It's not.
Like just getting around Huckaber's a bitch without a car.
Yeah.
Because those buses suck, dude. And you got to stand. It can be minus fucking 10. You're waiting for a bus. Dude, I don't like sitting in the car waiting for the heater to come on. Like, fuck that, dude. I'm a creature of luxury.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm just going to book a car.
Just get a little one.
Yeah. Roomy?
Not that little.
No.
Yeah. No. Anyway, that's sightseeing in Japan is incredible in autumn and spring.
Yeah.
Autumn, it's like a patchwork quilt. The colours like the browns and greys and greens, and the trees go yellow, and like it's fucking wild. It looks like a patchwork quilt. It's unreal. And then in spring, you've got like cherry blossoms and bright green. It just goes bright green. So I think it's such a country of 4 seasons. I mean, obviously, I've never been there in summer. I've been told never go there in summer. It's the wet season. It's 35 degrees with 100% humidity every day, apparently, and it's horrendous. So I would avoid the dead of our winter. Don't go, June, July, August, because that's the hottest, wettest time in Japan. But either side of that, if you want to go sightseeing and see temples, which you know more about than me, I don't. I don't give a fuck about temples.
I
went to Nagano Temple with the giant Buddha. I've seen that like 3 or 4 times now. That's where you got blessed
I
last time.
did, with like a curtain rod dolly thing.
Yeah, your fiance described it as being teabagged by a monk.
Yeah. We got there and like all of a sudden like these people, there's a monk or some emperor or some high priest.
Emperor.
I don't know.
I doubt it was a fucking emperor.
Don't know.
There's only one of them.
Well, it was someone of very high status.
A priest.
It wasn't a monk, but they were like fully dressed and they had two people in front of that person walking in front and making sure that everyone got on their knees, and even tourists, like they came to us and they were like down, and so we had to pull our stuff down and sit on our knees, and they came past and like blessed us on the head. And then it happened again because someone else came. I don't know what was going on this morning in Nagano, but then
I slept in.
Yeah.
I went for breakfast. Probably had a
I
donut.
have footage of it.
coffee.
I can get Portnoy to drop in some blessing footage.
Man, I'm pretty sure that morning I would have a photo of me and Rowie at Starbucks having a coffee and a donut.
Yep.
That's basically what we did that day. Yeah, I know what. That day that you went to that crazy monk thing, we went for a walk and we found like a car show. We found all those cars under the hotel near Nagano Station. Yeah, we did. What do you mean? Why are you shaking your head?
I told you about that car. And
Okay, maybe you got back from the monk show. And
no, Neil and I went for a run. My memory is
What
so
did I do
good.
that morning?
My memory is so good and yours is so shit.
Yeah.
Neil and I went for a run and we walked back past that car show under the hotel. Then we got back to the hotel and I texted you and Rowie.
Was that the same day?
Because you were going across to get Starbucks.
Okay, I got the Starbucks bit right.
No, it was another, I don't know. That was not that day. It was a different day. We stayed in Nagano for 3 days.
Yeah, I don't know. All just against one. I've been going there for so long. I don't know what's what. The best ramen in the world is in Nagano, by the way. Yeah. Past the one in the city. I went back there the other night. Me and Rowie went back into, what's it called? Ichi-san-do or something.
I really want to go.
Up there, man.
I really want to go.
Had another spicy miso. I can't go past it.
I had the miso from the Tamagawa in Balgala. It's all right.
It's average.
It's average.
Yeah, I think they're fucking average packet noodles or something. You've got to go to this
like
one.
even the miso broth, it was miso pork broth and it was like...
Yeah, not mind-blowing.
No, it was like, okay, this is good. Like if I was in Japan, I'd give it like a 6.
I think their sushi's pretty good up there, but not
Sushi's really good
not
up
their
there.
ramen. Dude, I'll go in with you. We'll just go in one night. 4 of us can go.
Yeah, please.
It's really, really good. And it's like Saturday night wasn't crazy busy. If you go early, I got home from work and I said, like, no, I really want ramen. And Rowie was like, let's go then. And we got in the car straight away. I think we got in the city about 6:15 or something.
Yeah,
and
sweet.
There was no line or anything, which is
Sweet.
good because during the day there's a fucking hour wait. I always put it on my story, and literally every time I put on this is funny thing that happens to me. I don't know why. A lot of the people who follow my Overlook Pelican thing, they will comment. Like I'll put on my story a picture of my ramen and me going, "Fuck, I love this place," and I'll always tag the place in. It's the best miso outside of Japan I've ever had, miso ramen I've ever had. And I get like 5 or 6 people going, have you tried this one? Have you tried this one? Have you tried this one? It's like, dude.
We're going to have to do ramen tours around Sydney.
Yeah, but I've tried most of the ones they're saying. One of them was Mara. What's that one that you took me to? Redfern?
Oh, Rara.
Rara.
Yeah.
I knew it was something. Yeah, that one of them was that. I didn't think that was great. That's all right. But they're not miso.
I think they're tonkatsu.
I think I had the vegan miso that night. And
Yeah.
I just didn't. It was okay.
Maybe we need to go back.
Tonkatsu ramen to me is not, it's hard to fuck up. So, like, they're all okay.
It's also not my favourite.
No, it's a bit oily almost, but it depends on who makes it.
Yeah.
The other one was the one at St. Leonard's, which is massively overpriced that I got told to go to. So, and I'm like, yeah, I've been there, but it was fucking $40 for a ramen. I just don't like paying $40.
I went to one in Crow's Nest that was like...
That's probably the same one.
That blew up on Instagram and TikTok. And it was like...
Overpriced.
Yeah, and I got it was a prawn one and it was almost like a seafood bisque cross with a ramen, and I'm like,
they're trying to be too fucking fancy.
I'm like, stop. But it was like the whole place was like traditional. It had tama, what are they called? I can't say the word where they sit on the floor.
I don't know, sitting on the floor.
Well, they had that. And it was like, it looked like you just walked into a place in Japan. Like it was like plastic water jugs and like plastic cups and things on the table, and looked so traditional and so authentic. And it was like then trying to be real fan. Like I got probably the cross fancy one, but the other one was like
average too. This place where I go, I wish I could think of the name. It's a hard name to say. They've even got fake bowls of ramen stuck to the wall. That's how Japanese I love it is. And it just feels like you're in Japan.
Amazing. All right, let's go.
I will. Do you want to go now? All right, cool. Let's go.
Bye.
Bye.
We're going to eat ramen.
See you next week.